Have you ever found yourself in a situation where you finally meet someone who is genuinely good to you? They are kind, emotionally available, consistent, and they treat you with the exact level of respect and care you have always begged for. But instead of feeling an overwhelming sense of joy and relief, a strange, suffocating feeling begins to rise in your chest. You suddenly feel incredibly anxious, smothered, or even irritated by their presence. You start scanning them under a microscopic lens, desperately searching for tiny, insignificant flaws to justify pulling away. They text back too quickly, they are too nice, or they are just simply boring. Meanwhile, when someone is emotionally distant, inconsistent, and treats you like an option, you find yourself utterly obsessed, willing to move mountains just to win a breadcrumb of their attention. We tell the world, and we tell ourselves, that we desperately want to find a healthy, loving relationship. But psychology reveals a deeply tragic and confusing paradox. Many of us are absolutely terrified of the very love we claim to be searching for, and we actively sabotage it the exact moment it finally arrives. To understand why we do this to ourselves, we have to look at the massive difference between what our logical brain wants and what our nervous system is programmed to accept. Logically, you want peace, trust, and mutual respect. But your nervous system does not operate on logic. It operates entirely on familiarity. For many people, the concept of love was written in a childhood environment that was chaotic, unpredictable, or strictly conditional. If you grew up in a home where love was mixed with shouting, where you had to walk on eggshells to avoid an explosion, or where you constantly had to prove your worth to emotionally unavailable caretakers, your developing brain learned a very dangerous equation. It learned that love equals anxiety. It learned that attachment requires constant effort, fear, and a desperate, exhausting chase. You were subconsciously wired to believe that if a relationship isn't a massive emotional roller coaster, it isn't real love. Consequently, when a healthy, emotionally mature person enters your life, your nervous system literally does not know how to process them. Because there is no screaming, no silent treatment, and no desperate guessing games about where you stand, your brain misinterprets the peace and stability as a massive red flag. Your trauma-adapted brain looks at the calm and says, "This is a trick. This is the calm before the storm. When is the other shoe going to drop?" Because your nervous system is addicted to the high-stress adrenaline and cortisol spikes of toxic relationships, the absolute safety of a healthy partner feels unnatural, suspicious, and incredibly boring. You have spent your entire life confusing nervous system dysregulation with romantic chemistry. You think those intense butterflies in your stomach are a sign of true love, when in reality, they are often just your body's ancient alarm system warning you of emotional danger. This self-sabotage is heavily driven by a profound, underlying fear of intimacy. True intimacy is not just about physical closeness, it is about the terrifying vulnerability of being completely, unapologetically seen by another human being. If you struggle with deep-rooted feelings of inadequacy, you have likely built a massive, beautifully decorated wall around your true self. You wear a mask of perfection, humor, or hyper-independence to protect the fragile, wounded parts of your psyche. When you are with someone who is emotionally unavailable, your mask is perfectly safe. Because they don't really want to know the deep, messy parts of you, you never actually risk being really seen, which means you never risk being really rejected. It is a safe, highly controlled performance that guarantees your walls remain intact. But a healthy partner is entirely different. A healthy partner wants to look behind the mask. They want to see your fears, your insecurities, and your raw, unfiltered self. And for a mind plagued by low self-worth, this is the ultimate existential threat. Subconsciously, your brain whispers a terrifying lie. If I let them get close enough to see the real me, they will realize how broken and unworthy I am, and they will eventually abandon me. The fear of that inevitable abandonment becomes so paralyzing, so psychologically unbearable, that you decide to take control of the narrative. You push them away, you pick a fight over absolutely nothing, or you simply ghost them. You decide that you would rather be the one who leaves than risk being the one who gets left. It is a tragic preemptive strike. You burn down your own safe house just so you don't have to live with the paralyzing anxiety of waiting for a fire to start. After the dust settles and you have successfully pushed away someone who genuinely cared about you, the narrative you spin for yourself is equally damaging. You tell yourself that you just weren't compatible, that the timing was wrong, or that you were simply meant to walk this earth entirely alone. You sit in the ruins of a connection you actively destroyed, wondering why you are perpetually unlucky in love. You fail to realize that the call is coming from inside the house. You are holding the lock and the key, desperately crying out for someone to rescue you from a prison that you yourself have constructed and continue to heavily guard. Breaking this agonizing cycle of self-sabotage requires immense self-awareness and a willingness to sit in profound emotional discomfort. You must first recognize that your boredom with healthy people is actually just unrecognized anxiety. You have to actively retrain your nervous system to accept peace as a baseline rather than chaos. When you start dating someone who is safe and consistent, and that familiar urge to run away or find flaws begins to rise in your chest, you have to force yourself to pause. You must look at that urge objectively and say, I am not actually losing feelings. My trauma response is just being triggered because I'm not used to being treated this well. You have to grieve the chaotic highs and lows of your past toxic attachments and learn to find beauty in the quiet, steady rhythm of a secure connection. Healthy love does not feel like a desperate, breathless chase. It feels like coming home. It feels like taking off a heavy backpack after a long, exhausting journey. It will feel strange at first. It will feel uncomfortably quiet. But you must resist the urge to fill that quiet space with unnecessary drama just to feel something vaguely familiar. You deserve to be loved without having to bleed for it. You deserve a love that does not require you to constantly prove your worth, decode mixed signals, or sacrifice your peace of mind. But to receive that love, you must first become brave enough to endure the terrifying vulnerability of letting it in. Stop running from the people who actually want to hold you. Drop the heavy armor, step out from behind the walls you have built, and finally allow yourself the terrifying, beautiful privilege of being truly and deeply seen.